Alright, we're back. I'm sorry, I finally figured out why my microphone's been sounding so weird. I had a different setting than I was supposed to have on. And, yeah, we're on the second part of this trial. We, finished the first part, find out that, the police were interfering with this case, as you'll recall. So, the waiter was secretly a, undercover police detective. So, now we know that that was how that happened. I'm truly, like, I have no idea what's going to happen next. And I'm excited to find out. So, here we go. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. And you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young woman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have time to think about what the sound of the gunshot might have come from. Where it might have come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet. And he bundled me into some sort of pantry next to the kitchen. Sorry. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. There you are. Well done, both of you. Oh, there you are. Well done, both of you. I'll be Michael Caine for that guy again. Professor Mikitoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as his lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Oh, I can't do a good J.K. Simmons or I'd be J.K. Simmons for him. That's awesome. Which is why I firmly believe we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What are you saying, Kazuma? That's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma. Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? That's a car outside my house. If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UA. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. My headband is just confused as I am. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as soon as possible. As quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement in our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that the pair of you will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. It's my feminine voice for everybody. Defendant Naruto! Court gate recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Before those old fossils know what's hit them. Kazuma. Sorry. What? Thank you, really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed in me, then I'm fairly sure I'd have already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend, I must train harder. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just any battle anymore. It is my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Let's go Hadouken them. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me as one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Tatsumaki Senpu Kyak. I'm sorry, he looks like Ryu. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. The court hereby resumes the trial of the Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Alchi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. Thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under the painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. It's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forge with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. But you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? It should be flounders. Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, and a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? This is the Supreme Court of... Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy. You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what we will secure our Oh, we'll secure our feet. Oh, that was a weird way to spell maneuvering. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student. And one who could arguably study harder, too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Your Excellency. Or Giselle Brett. Oh, she's got a swan on her hat. She's cool. Gotta think of a better voice for her. Well, what a delight it is to welcome you, such a fine gentlewoman, to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea. Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? Is that true? No idea. Actually, the British tanks have a tea set in every tank. So, Can we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Sorry, I had to clear my throat and get a drink. Of course. My name is Satoru Hasunaga. I have been working undercover as a head waiter at the Carnival, but my troop... Yes, we know all about you already. Inspector Hoshinaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? I think your description of this amazing sight was simply a woman. Yet your description, excuse me. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Scribble, 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 scribble. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? I cannot read that. I don't think we're supposed to be able to either. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled at Yuma University's medical facility. Or faculty. Gosh. Or no, facility. I don't know. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but that was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention to your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Bright. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called the Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? Something, dining, something. Something, 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 dining something. She says yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. Something, 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 something. Something, 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 something. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the time of the scene of the crime. Could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Something, 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 something. Apparently it was very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Hang on, I'm going to take the defense stand. Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you. That's the Vinny Gambini defense. Order. Order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Now we have absolutely no conclusive witness statement. An absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I'll have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Frightening sorrowful sight. Oh, nope. Press the wrong button. I had arranged for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered for myself only, a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. This is a condemning testimony indeed. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine those words the court is going to believe. Whose words the court's going to believe. Ugh. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I wasn't at the scene. I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before, and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about a person where she could conceal a firearm. In her swan hat, she could. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. One moment. having to adjust some stuff. All right. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. This is moot, excuse me. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Ah, that's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Friday's oversight. I had arranged for a meet slightly in the luncheon with Dr. Wilson, slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it? You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue, isn't that right? No. Ah. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. There was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment in the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that we submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes. That all makes perfect sense. That's wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence to this... Oh my god, you jerk simp. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? The professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered myself only a beefsteak. He was able to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at the hotel clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was late to have some dental treatment. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's wrong with my eyesight today, bro. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Other than the carbonated water. Some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? Should I say it's nothing? I can't really see anything wrong with it. There's only one glass at the table, if I remember correctly. Aha! Ha ha! I was right. Kazuma. Do you think it's significant in some way? Well, perhaps, but let's do this your way. Maybe I should press her on that statement again. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. I was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all Piku Ingarishu. Oh my gosh. We must also Piku Ingarishu. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever. Or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said. Doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. The next time you got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave.